Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Ham Radio Guy podcast here live Ham Nation. Hamcation 2024. It's obviously early in the morning here. I'm here with Max with Ham Radio Prep and the World Radio League. And we're going to be talking about their new logging software this morning and going through some of that. Good morning, Max. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm
good.
You enjoy that drive in this morning?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, those gates and a little debacle getting in this morning, that was a little fun too. So probably good to use a few more minutes late.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're our opening day of Hamcation here. And we're excited to hopefully you guys have some good luck with some people coming through and talking about this World Radio, getting some people signed up for that. What is World Radio League?
Yeah, so the World Radio League is supposed to be the one-stop shop for all hams, but particularly new hams, to get on the air, start operating, start logging their contacts, and get involved with the world of amateur radio past getting the license. We started this up because we, with Ham Radio Prep, we get so many people licensed, and the biggest feedback we get from our students is, I got licensed, now what? And so we wanted to provide that now what solution.
Absolutely. So we've come up with a logging software program, and I think you're going to go through and show us some features on that. So let's talk about, let's see what the homepage would look like, or maybe just let's start from the beginning. How would someone go out and sign up for this?
Yep, so it's super easy to go and sign up for the World Radio League. You just go to worldradioleague.com. The entire logbook is completely web-based, so you can do that on a laptop like I am today, on your iPhone, on your iPad, Android devices, Macs.
So it does have a mobile capability to it?
Yes it does.
Okay, and of course, if someone's going to ask right off the bat, what does this cost to be able to get into this?
So it's completely free to use.
Free?
Yeah, free.
Free program, it's great. Perfect, we love that. So it's a free program for logging, getting in here. It is web-based, you have to have an internet connection for now, but still, we're talking about doing some things offline.
Exactly.
Down the road, so it's still not in beta anymore. We got 5,200 people signed up for it in the world.
Yes.
So it's worldwide, and let's just get into it and talk about home. So let me zoom in on this just a little bit.
Yeah, so this is your homepage as he's panning over. And this is what you look at every time you log into the site and you get in. So what's cool about this page is, as you can see, you have this nice globe. This is all contacts that have been made, in the past couple of hours or so real time. On this nice little map, so you can see people are talking out to Australia.
So those are actually real contacts being made?
Yep, those are all real contacts made on the site and logged into the World Radio League. You can see it both on the map and, of course, on this most recent contacts view. And the important part, I'll start with that, is the logbook. So it's nice as you get multiple different logbooks, dependent on, if you want to have a home location, an operating event location. So you see I operated the N5 VET, Veterans Day Special Event Station. So if
I've got a home set up and I want to log into this World Radio League and create my home logbook, and then if I'm out at a park and I want to sign on to the internet, I can create this, my logbook for doing parks in the air.
Exactly.
Sure.
And so what's cool about that is, you can just hop between different logbooks depending on what you're doing. This is also the page where you can go and import in your ADIFs if you have any ADIF files from other events.
So you can import ADIF files?
Yep, you can import ADIF files. And so let's take a look at my home logbook. So you'll see all the logbook fields you know and love. Your call signs, signal reports, any notes, country, date, location, time. And it's very easy to use. So let's say I made a contact with you, Marvin.
Sure.
I go W0
MET.
And let's say we're doing something fancy. We're on
144. There we go. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 144. 560. What's cool is it'll autofill in the band. It'll guess what mode you're operating on. It thinks we're on SSB, but we're probably actually on FM. And then it'll autofill in all of his data. So it says he's in Massachusetts.
So it actually goes out and reaches out to like a database.
Yes, it reaches out to a database and pulls all that data. So being us both at Hamcation, you're obviously not in Massachusetts or in FM32.
I am. Well, yeah, I'm not there physically, but that is my actually true home location right now. So it's my actually accurate address. Shows my grid square and everything, which is really cool. And then it is showing shows your information in there too, where your grid square is. About that.
Yep, and we can use your location services as well at home. If you don't know your grid square off the top of your head, it'll calculate that for you.
Nice.
And what's cool too is that when you make these contacts, it saves into your logbook file. and you can take a look back at them. You can edit them. It gives you some cool data like the distance and all that
So let's
stuff.
go into like maybe the LU2DD
Yep.
and look at and see what that looks like.
Yeah, and so for each contact, we generate you a single contact view. Gives you all the information about the contact. You can go ahead and export that to social media, post it on your Twitter, your Facebook, or you can just copy the link and send it around on Discords, for instance. And
So
it gives
you can say, hey, I made this awesome DX contact. I want to share this out on whatever your favorite social media platform is at that point. So, and it actually gives you a map of where those two locations are. And that's something you can zoom in on and see that a little bit more specifically if they were.
You can see it with a little bit more
what part of maybe South America they were actually in.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And,
that's awesome.
And it's a great way, QSL cards can take a while to get in, and sometimes they don't show, some of your cooler data, like the distance of the contact and some of that other stuff. And so you can make the contact.
So this is actually showing that in kilometers now.
Yes.
Does that can be converted to miles yet or no?
It's all metric because amateur radio is very metric in nature. We say 40 meters.
But it shows you, hey, the date and time and the frequency and the band and everything you're on, the mode. So very cool.
Very cool.
That's a neat blogging program so far. And let's talk about leaderboard a little bit.
Yeah, so in the attempt to sort of gamify operating, right? Contests run all the time, but if you're a new ham, you might not want to jump right into contesting where people are working 3 radios and all this other stuff. So we have a weekly leaderboard that runs. And so every week you can try to become, the operator with the most contacts, or the operator, or the top operator in a given mode. You can be the best CW operator on the website, the best FT8 operator, that sort of thing. And we also give you some other cool leaderboard points, like the longest distance contact. So it's right now this guy, KM7MM, who has a 13,000 kilometer contact. Also some cool leaderboard places, like the most DX contacts. So he's talked to the most countries outside of their own.
Wow. Very
and
cool.
So that resets every week. It runs Sunday to Saturday and Saturday night. And so, if you have a week where you say, I want to be on the leaderboard, you can take that week, get on the leaderboard, and then you don't have to worry about being on the leaderboard next week if you don't want to,
Gotcha. So you got some map showing up here.
Yep. So we also sort the leaderboards by state and country. So you're based out of Massachusetts, so we can take a look at the Massachusetts state leaderboard. And it looks like we do have a guy in Massachusetts.
One guy there's got 2 contacts, and he's logged into this.
Yeah. So as the site grows, obviously these state leaderboards get more competitive. But right now, it's a great time to get in on the ground
you're
floor.
still growing the old people getting into this and learning about this a little bit more.
Yep.
And then when we talk about weekly, is like this will actually go week 1, which is the week of January 1st, the week 52, end of December. So you can it runs all year long. So
it runs all year long, and then it'll reset, and then we'll have an archive.
Absolutely. And you've got a contest page, a community chat page here a little bit. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to do as well in the, to get more people operating is to get more people into contesting in an easier way. As Marvin knows, running Winter Field Day, getting people to not only operate in the contest correctly with the right exchanges, but also have them submit the right data files and all this other stuff can become, especially for new hams or for people that aren't, in the know,
right,
can become difficult, right?
Oh,
so we wanted to provide a great contesting archecture for new hams. They can just go to a tab on the website.
So we could create a Winter Field Day contest right on here. We could do a state a state QSO party of some sort.
Exactly.
And we can set those up and do that.
Yep.
Now that would be something that would have to come from administration of World Radio League,
right, exactly.
but not something I can go personally create that own contest.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
gotcha.
But what you get out of it, right, is if you look at, so we ran our version of the North American QSO party, just copying all the rules just so people could log the North American QSO party contest in our site.
So you put all the information right there then.
And what you get is you get all the information. You can see how many people on the site registered for the contest.
42 people are taking part in it.
Yeah. So of course that's not the full amount.
Right.
But it's great because it's all cloud based. So you can just hop on the website. You get a real time contest leaderboard. So as you're working the contest, you can see James only needs 20 more contacts to beat me, for instance. And that's a great way to gamify it, and so you can actually kind of see where you're stacking up, and if you want to work more, or if you need to work more.
Absolutely.
You get a real-time map of all the contacts made during the contest. So this is North America, so this is all going to be North American contacts, but you see there's a good amount. And so that's good because you can kind of see, am I actually able to hit Washington in this contest, or is it nobody?
Yeah, the bands may or may not be open during that tournament. It may work for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Interesting.
Yep. And then the community chat. So we wanted to provide a great, easy place for people that, let's say they're logging their contact, they have a quick question. instead of going off platform to a different site or to a Discord server, we just wanted to provide a forum for them to go in and ask those questions. So it'll redirect.
Maybe a little slow this morning.
A little slow this morning as everybody's getting on the
Everybody's getting
Wi-Fi.
on the Wi-Fi and internet here for sure.
And yeah, it's just a very, very easy, nice, easy to use form with a couple categories. So every time we push a logbook update, for instance, we'll make a post about it. So you'll see, we added upload, download, and as we're sort of getting these things started up, every time we push out a feature, somebody comes out and says, "Hey, something's not working right," and so it's great to just have this in here for that to happen.
Absolutely. So as we go back into the radio log itself, we, talking about, early on here a few minutes ago, this will be a potentially something for being offline.
Yeah.
And you're continuing to push out new features. You want to be able to integrate this into Mac and Linux and Windows. And then the other thing would be, be able to maybe integrate a radio into it in the future or something like that. So, definitely some cool features and things that you're working on that will come down the road.
Yeah.
But you've only been out since September. Is that my correct
September.
understanding?
Yep.
So we already got 5,200 people signed on for it. So if you're interested in this, World Radio League logging program, go out to worldradioleague.com and sign up. And if you have any questions, reach out to them about that too. Definitely. They can help you out there.
Yeah. And we're pushing out new features basically every week. On the lookout here after this video, we're going to have logbook templates out, so you can have different templates depending on what you're trying to do. POTA activation specific as well. We're going to have a streak up and running, so you can keep up a streak of making a contact every day, and you can kind of compete to see who has the longest streak on the site. And a bunch of other cool stuff coming down the pipeline, like that offline mode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's very cool. And so this is actually all part of Ham Radio Prep.
Yes.
And so, James, you got just a minute to join in with us here. Yeah, you want to give that to him?
Yeah, you let me know when I'm in the in the shot.
Yeah, we got you in here now.
Is Max taking care of you over here?
Max is doing great with this on World Radio League. Anything you want to add about this as we talk a little bit about this?
I'm sure Max probably told you most of the features that we've got, but I'll just say we're building really fast. We're kind of we have a feedback button. We have a community chat where you can kind of interact with us, but we want this to be led by members of the community. So we've already had a lot of folks that have jumped in, given us suggestions, and because we're moving so fast, most of the suggestions kind of make it in within a release pretty quickly. I can say, if he's already taken you through our contact logging, he's taken you through a profile, what you're going to see is a lot more logbook analytics that are coming. You're going to see a lot more sort of like call sign lookup type features coming. And we're going to be building some pretty robust offline features.
That's awesome.
And so right now it's just kind of the battle of prioritizing where everything fits and say, okay, what do we get done this week? What do we get done this quarter? What do we get done this year?
How did World Radio League really come about from Ham Radio Prep?
Well, we always stay busy. So we've been doing Ham Radio Prep now for 6 years, believe it or not, which is it's kind of unbelievable because we're still
going to back up for just a second. Just in case people aren't familiar with Ham Radio Prep, what is that?
Yeah, so Ham Radio Prep is online prep for the ham radio exam. So technician, general, amateur, extra. We've been around since 2018 and started just basically, I was writing the courses myself back in the day. We've grown a lot and people have really connected with the way that we teach, which is basically all in one class with videos, text lessons, quizzes. We break the material up into really small chunks so people can digest it easily. And it's just the right balance of learning the concepts, but also getting it through you quickly so you can get licensed, get on the air, and that's where most of the real learning starts. So that's Ham Radio Prep.
Right.
And we did a great technician course. We did a great general course. We did a great amateur extra. We've been doing a lot of free videos online as well, just teaching different aspects of amateur radio. But I think like a lot of people in the amateur radio education, what we saw was that people were getting their license, and then they would be like, "Okay, I got my license. That's it, right?" Like, so they would kind of drop off, and they'd stop like engaging. And
There's a lot of that for sure.
We want to just encourage you to like take that first. First of all, you got to make your first contact. which a lot of times is like a simplex contact with an HT.
Or over a repeater.
Or over a repeater.
Right.
And so we start teaching on that, and then we're like, okay, well, if you really want to track your progress, track your improvement, you really need a good place to log. And we saw that basically with what people were kind of getting stuck at that point. They'd go download something, it wouldn't work for their operating system, or
it's cumbersome to learn.
Yeah, it's cumbersome
like
to learn.
N1MM or some of the TR4Ws and some of the other programs out there. Some of them are just only Linux based or only Windows based, and so people may be more of a Mac person, they may be more of a Linux person, and they don't know how to get into Windows and do something. So this kind of gives you a platform for someone on any operating system to be able to get into and easily use.
So and that was kind of where we just kind of wanted to start from scratch and say what would a really awesome modern logging ham radio experience look like, and then just start designing that and kind of designing it from how we would imagine that being really awesome. And then that's where the World Radio League came about, and I think for someone who's trying to figure out what the World Radio League is today, I would say it's really good for beginners. Like if you're a beginner logger, that's really where we are great, because it's really easy you can create an account in 2 minutes and you can be logging in 5 minutes, right?
Right.
And we even have a guide on how to log to kind of teach you that. And then now that we've only been out since September, now the more advanced features are starting to come, right? So, for somebody who's using N1MM and a contester, there's going to be features there that they really love that we don't have today. But if you're looking for an interactive way just to start hopping on and doing some logging,
simple approach.
A simple approach, you're going to really like it. It's interactive. You can track your progress. And if you're using another logger today, I'd encourage you just to upload your logs and kind of see it come to life, because you can start seeing the analytics in here about your logs too. So that's kind of, that's the summary.
That's awesome. I was thinking I had something else in there I was going to throw in there, and I'm drawing a blank on that question now. But, well, great. And easiest way for someone to get into this, again, is to go out to worldradioleague.com.
Worldradioleague.com. Just sign up for your free account. If you want to support us, we do have a paid membership you can do as well. You can be a founding member of the World Radio League. But I would encourage most people to just do it for free. Check it out. If you really like what we're doing, then consider it. But no pressure, because most of 90% of what you can do in here is available for free. So we're just kind of taking a slow approach. And
so this is a logging program that's built by amateur radio operators. You guys are all amateur radio operators, and you're able to use it you're thinking about this from the end user standpoint, and how a new person coming into this would look at it. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that, and that's a great way to approach it versus some engineer or software person trying to create a program and not really realizing how the end user might want to be able to use this in the end. And so you guys are looking at it from that standpoint. I think that's really great.
Well, yeah, so. I've been licensed myself since I think 2017, 2018, and so I've kind of gone on this journey myself and seen how you go through each one of the steps of getting your tech, making your first contact, kind of getting that feel. I remember when I made my first HF contact, I was actually, Jim took me on a field day. Jim, our lead instructor here, took me on a field day. We just sat out, we had an in-fed wire and started making HF contacts. And the feeling of making a contact with somebody far away and putting that in the log.
The drilling
is it doesn't even seem real, because you're wait, I just made a contact with a guy 1,000 kilometers away?
Right.
Radio to radio? What? This is crazy.
That's crazy.
And I think that's kind of what it's about, is when you get people to get that first feeling, that first rush.
Oh,
and then,
absolutely.
And then you got to put it in the log, right?
Absolutely.
Because you want a record of that. And we see some of that, some of the people will drop notes in their logs in here, and you see people just so psyched. They're oh, I just made my first HF contact. And so as coming from Ham Radio Prep, we're in a really unique position to help people take that next step and get further into the hobby. And I think that's what's gonna build us a really good future here. Is you gotta take people along that journey, and you gotta meet them where they are, and you can't talk down to people.
Absolutely.
And I'm certainly not in a position to talk down anybody, because I know there's a lot of. I mean,
I
studied electrical engineering, and I'll sit here and talk to Max about ham radio, and I'm blown away by all the stuff he knows. So it's I know that if I'm still kind of mesmerized by how deep it is, then think about the students and the new folks.
Absolutely.
It's a lot. It's a hobby that's a mile wide and a mile deep.
Yeah, you kind of got to find your niche and where you want to go, and you got to kind of just dig into that section of it and go for it for a while until you think you got that learned. And,
well, and like
even if you do, it probably is changing down the road because
what you're doing with Winter Field Day is so incredible, because for me, like I said, Field Day and just having an event that to do is a great impetus for people to go and take that first step and kind of watch people do it live. I mean, we'll get you all set up in here as well too. So with y'all Winter Field Day, you can have a live board and you can kind of bring some.
Yeah, I think we'd love to look at something like that and work on that with you, James. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining here today, man, on the Ham Radio Guy podcast.
I've been a long time listener, and it's good to actually be on here, and it's crazy to run into you, man. So
absolutely. Well, good. Again, thank you for being with us today and having this new program out. And I'm looking forward to playing with this, and I'll have to sign up myself for it. I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Give it a test, and any features you want, just let us know. Like I said, I'd like to say we're the hardest working team in ham radio, but I don't know, man. You know, we try to build. We're trying to build features as fast as we can and reinvest back in the platform. So
absolutely. So people reach out to you and help out with a Patreon page and help support this as well. Because right now, again, it is a free program for people to go out and try and use. And, it does take room for storage and back-end learning and building for this to happen.
Yeah, cloud costs aren't free.
No,
but
AWS likes their cost, though, for sure.
Yeah, everybody likes to take a little piece.
Absolutely. Well, again, thanks for joining us here with World Radio League and Ham Radio Prep here on the Ham Radio Guy podcast. And we'll see you soon. 73.